Welcome back. We are live to the Transfer Exchange Show, and we have a transfer expert out of Sweden in Daniel Kristoffersson. How are you doing, Daniel?
I'm doing very good. It's hectical times in Sweden now with the transfer deadline day. So, it's busy times.
It is busy times. It's been non-stop with us this morning. I'm sure it's not going to be. It's going to keep on going with you. When did you say the window closes in Sweden?
Yeah, the window closes in Sweden here in the beginning of April, so you can buy players to April now. But the transfer window abroad is closing now in the most of the European leagues. So it's some big deals going on in Sweden right now. That's going to happen. Who has been the talk of the town very late? It's AIK's youngster Paulus Abraham who is going to Groningen. It's the biggest transfer.
Yeah, and that's a big move over there, yeah?
Yes. He went to Groningen late in yesterday in the evening and fly to go to the medical, and then maybe he will sign the contract if everything works out well. He will sign the contract today, soon.
Yeah. All right. Is there any other moves happening over there in Sweden at the moment?
Yeah, we have a big talent who play for Malmö. His name is Anel Ahmedhodzic. He has been saved by Milan, but now he's set to go to Atalanta.
Okay.
He's centre half, is he? Centre back.
Yeah, centre back. Yeah, he used to play. He could choose to play for Sweden. He could play for Bosnia, but he chose Bosnia. So it was a little about a pity for our Swedish national team that is to play for Bosnia. But he is very talented. He has been the biggest, the best central defender this season and last season. And I know that Atalanta is negotiating now. They have bid to Malmö 8 million euros.
Well, that's pretty big money, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very big money for a central defender in the Swedish league. But the problem is that Malmö wants all of the cash right now, and Atalanta wants to make it in like 12 months.
Yeah,
I think the transfer will go through, but not now. But he will move in the summer to Atalanta. I think.
That's a big move for him, isn't it? To go to Atlanta.
Yeah, very big move. Yeah, big side, and but I think he's ready for it. You have seen he has very mature in his way of playing. He has a mentality who is very good. So I think he's ready for the step. It has been talk about clubs like Liverpool and clubs like Milan, and then I think Atalanta. It's a more it's a better step for him, I think.
Yeah, I've seen a fair few Swedish players make the jump from Sweden to Italy. Is there some new connection going on? Is there a few new agents going on there? Because I did recently in the summer saw Emil Roback go from Malmo to.
Yeah, but that's Zlatan Ibrahimovic deal.
Oh, he had a little word, is it?
He took over in Hammarby. He owns a little part of a club, and then he saw Roback, and then he took him to Milan.
He was meant to come to Arsenal.
Yeah. He was in Arsenal, and Arsenal thought they have made a deal with the player.
Yeah,
and he was almost set to go there because he has been there to. First of all, he was there for a trial, and it went on very well, and then they started negotiating. But then Milan and Zlatan came in and raised the bid, so it chose Milan.
Milan has the power.
Yeah, they had the power. You should not underestimate Zlatan's.
I know. We all know the power of Zlatan.
Yeah, he can convince player.
He can, and he's done a good job.
I think if you look at some of the interviews Zlatan has made in the last couple of weeks in Italy, he has been praised Emil Roback very well in the newspaper. So
Okay.
I had just seen Emil Robak play for the Primavera, not in the first team, yeah, but he seems very good. And I know Red Bull Leipzig was after him also, but he chose Milan, and we see what happens. Maybe he can go for a loan deal now if he don't play for regular in the A team, maybe, or play in the Primavera.
Yeah. Are there any other big talents coming through at Sweden which you're excited to see?
Yeah, we have very much big talent, but they have in the clubs they have a little bit of different strategies. Some clubs making very good money on their own academy. AIK, as we see now, Paulus Abraham, they've Alexander Isak before sold to Borussia Dortmund for a record fee. Paulus Abraham they bought from a very, very good club, Brommapojkarna BP, who is in the third division, but has the best academy in Sweden. So many players come through from that academy. But in Norrköping we have the greatest talent, and I think he is the next player of Allsvenskan who will go through a big club. His name is Isak Bergman Johannesson. He's an Icelandic young player, and the strategy of IFK Norrköping has been to they have chosen an Icelandic way of doing it. They have bought many players from Iceland and sold them further to Moscow. Arnold Sigurdsson is sold for I think 4 million euros to Moscow for 2 years ago, and he has been chased by clubs like Napoli and stuff like that. Now they hope to do the same thing with Isak Bergman Johannesson, who has been chased by Wolverhampton and other clubs in England. So I think he is the most talented player now who is go through a big club.
So have they changed the strategy in Sweden or something? Because it seemed like the national team was sort of getting to a point where it was getting a bit aged, and where was the next batch of youngsters coming through? Would they be able to make the transition from the under-21s team into that full team?
Yeah, I think that all the clubs in Sweden now has to change strategy because in the pandemic times the market is a bit going down. You have to have put more money in the academy, more money in the youth squad, so you can make money of your own players. But if you look at the national team now, they're coming through. I think now or after the Euros, there will be a change of players, because many of the older guys, Mikael Lustig, Andreas Granqvist, maybe Marcus Berg, and players like that will say goodbye to the national team. And then you have the biggest star now, he's Dejan Kulusevski in Juventus. Also came from the club Brommapojkarna, as I was talking about. So, and he has been a fantastic journey and a fantastic player for the Swedish national team. And he is the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic, if you can say that, because he has the no pressure.
He has
the speed, the quality, and the international step. If you look at the pace, and if you look at the intelligence of playing, so I think he will be a superstar in the Swedish national team for many years now.
All right, so definitely one to watch. Steve, I think you had a couple of players.
I had. We've got quite a few Swedish fans of the Swedish league, and I had a little message for a couple of players, and they just wanted to know a little bit about them. The first one was Alexander Isak.
Yes.
He's you'll know he's at Real Sociedad. I was been told it went to there. And can you tell us a little bit about him? Whether he's
he is also from the AIK academy. They had a really successful strategy with picking up talents from the area around Solna, when AIK is based, and the suburb around Solna and Stockholm. They had a strategy called the Blue Line. this have been very successful. And Alexander Isak is the symbol of that strategy, and he has been fantastic. He had a little bit dip in his form for a couple of weeks ago, but now I think he's taking it back to where he will belong, and now he's coming back scoring goals. And of course he has he was a key player for the Swedish national team, has been a little bit off and on the bench because the coach Jan Andersson is he won't hold on to his older guys, Marcus Berg. So Alexander Isak has been put on the bench, but I think Isak will be back for the Euros and will be a starting player. And the funny thing there, when he went to AIK, he's by the way, the most expensive player who has gone from Allsvenskan, more expensive than Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And he was on his way to Real Madrid. Real Madrid has paid the flight, has played a hotel room there, but then he went and signed for Borussia Dortmund.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, and then he was bought by Real Sociedad. So it's a very fantastic story, Alexander.
Yeah, so I can see why I was asked now to ask Daniel what he was like. Yeah,
so they're pumping a lot of money and resources into AIK's youth development. Then
exactly,
certainly one to keep your eye on. It seems that one. Exactly. The other one, Daniel, was it was Dejan Kulusevski.
Yeah, Kulusevski.
Have I pronounced that right?
Yeah,
and he's
better than I would.
What is that? I don't know. Well, I'll ask you afterwards about this Italian connection because it always seems to be. But he's at Parma. I've been told.
Nah, Kulusevski. That was the guy I talked about. He's in Juventus. He was in Parma. Did very well, and Juventus bought him. I think for around 45 million euro. And he has done. Yeah, he has done fantastic. And as I said, he will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And the surprising thing with him is he came from nowhere. He was in the Primavera in Parma. He just go through to the first team and made the great success. Juventus bought him, and now he's scoring goals in Juventus. And he will be a key player for the Swedish national team for a long time. And that was exactly that we needed. Now, when Zlatan has quit the national team, but maybe he will come back in the Euros, but he won't play forever. So Kulusevski is the best thing that happened to Swedish football since Zlatan.
And that's what you need. You need someone to take that away from, because it's all well and good having the superstars like Zlatan Ibrahimovic in your team, but you've got to think of the next lot coming through. And if this guy's going to take the mantle, then that's what they needed.
Is it looking exciting, the Swedish league now, Daniel? Is there a load of young players coming through? Can you see the Swedish national team looking back and thinking, I'm excited by this? You've seen Norway at the moment. I mean, there seems to be quite a few players coming in from Norway. I mean, is there a similar thing happening in Sweden?
Yeah, you see, if you look at the clubs who they have bought and the transfers, you see that the clubs now, example for Djurgården, they have looked not abroad. They have bought talented players from a little bit lower leagues, from the third division in Sweden, from the second division in Sweden. And that's because the clubs in Allsvenskan has to do it now because of the pandemic and because of the economy. So I think that's good because then we will the money stays in Sweden if you they don't go abroad. So then you can build up. You can build up the clubs that you buy from. Also get the money so that the money in the Swedish league stays in Sweden. I think that's very good, and they haven't been so good. If you look back at 10-15 years, they haven't been so good among the scouting organization in the clubs. Some of the top clubs doesn't even have a scout. It's a sport director who decides everything. But now I think when the pandemic and they're forced to doing a real a good job and have a more serious scouting organization because that's what Allsvenska clubs needs, I think.
Yeah, they've implemented a better structure. Are there any players potentially coming to the Premier League anytime soon, or maybe in the summer? Are there any players that are linked?
Yeah, you have not in Allsvenskan, but you have a Swedish player, Viktor Claesson, who plays for Krasnodar. He will leave Krasnodar, what I heard, in the summer, and there it has been a rumor about Newcastle United. I think they offered a very good money to Krasnodar 2 years ago, but then they said no, they want to keep Viktor. Then he had a knee injury, surgery, and then he's coming back now, and he's fully fit. So I think he will move in the summer. But the question is if Newcastle have their interest still there. I don't know, but he's the closest one to go to Premier League, because now with the Brexit and everything, it's almost impossible for Swedish players to go to Premier League with just because they have to pay so much money for them, and I don't think they will do. But if I would say some names, it's Isak Bergman Johannesson, the Icelandic player we talk about. He's the closest one, and their Wolverhampton has been in the chase for him.
Oh, Wolves! I definitely have to check him out. I won't try and pronounce his name right now because you've done that real justice. I would not. But I'll definitely get one of my guys to look at him. Yeah. See, I thought you was going to give me a lesson on how to say it.
Johannesson. I think the father or a relative had played in Aston Villa.
Oh. If
it was his uncle or something like that.
Yeah. Is the like the youth?
Citizenship in England, I
think. Okay. All right, cool. What was you saying, Steve?
No, I wondered like what the youth system was like in Sweden. I mean, is it going the right way that you think it should go? I mean, are there plenty of young players coming through? The ages of maybe under 12, like 14,
yeah, some
16.
clubs have had a history of letting the young players come through to the first team. If you look at Häcken, for example, Kim Kallström.
Oh yeah.
And they have that was 20 years. It feels like when he break through, and they have sustained their philosophy to just put down the talents to the first team. But then you have clubs like Malmö, who has the last 3 or 4, 5 years, they have just stayed with the older players, they have board players, and it's just now the last season they have put out the talents in the first team. So you see a little bit of change there in strategy for the Swedish teams, that they're now working in a way that they feel like they are like pushed to get up the talents in the first team.
Yeah, I mean, they must be brought up, in a tough environment, like to be tough. I mean, to go and play, which it seems like a lot of your players in Sweden are going to the Italian league. I mean, that you have to have for certain players, you have to have a certain frame of mind. You have to be tough, to go and play that Italian league. And it seems like the Swedish players are really doing it. Is there any other leagues that they're going in apart from the Italian league?
Yeah, you have the traditional Swedish player go to Belgium and fail. That was the joke of all the Allsvenskan for like 3 or 5 years. Every player go to Belgium, they fail, or freezing out of the coach, and then they come back. But now I think instead of going for Belgium, there's now changed, because now they go they go to Holland again, and MLS has been also a player has been transferred to, and also Italy. Emil Forsberg's success and everything. So
well, they should come to England. We've got a good record of Swedish players in England.
Yeah,
a very good record.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that countries seem to pick out certain countries to go to. I mean,
exactly.
If you look at America, they pick out Germany.
Sweden,
they're picking out Italy. It seems to have that kind of thing going with it. whether we're comfortable, whether there's certain people in them countries that are able to bring them through better. But it certainly seems to be doing the trick to the Swedish players because they seem to be doing really well.
Yeah. All right, Daniel, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for the exclusives. I'm claiming them as exclusives because you said they're in the summer and you're giving them to us now. So exclusives, people, on the Transfer Exchange Show. Welcome back anytime, Daniel. Thank you very much again.
Tk you very much.
All right,
thank you, Darren. Cheers. Time, mate.
All right, thank you very much to Daniel there. As you said, there's plenty of names there. We're gonna get Jerome on later on to go through all them players and give us the rundown on who he thinks is decent. Steve, did you get the names down? I've got half of them.
Yeah, I've got a few. I've got a bit down.
All right, cool, good man. Get them.
The ones I said, I've got rid of. I mean, the one that seems to be the kiddie that everyone's excited about is the Dusan Kulovsky.
Yeah.
The guy that was at Parma. That's now at Juventus.
Yeah.
This kid is pretty special. I'm not too sure what age. I think he's 19 years old, and that's quite a big fee. To pay for someone.
Yeah, I didn't realise he was 19. I didn't realise he was so young. So we'll definitely have to look at some of these players, and we'll get Jerome to give us the once over on them.
The other one was I can't think what he was called now, but we'll definitely have him for you all to so Jerome can sort of do a little thing on them.
We will. We are due back in 10 minutes with we're on with Carlo, aren't we? All right.
Yeah, Carlo.
Yes, we are due back on in 10 minutes with Carlo Gaganese, Italian expert. So, thank you very much to everyone that joined us today. Make sure you press the like and subscribe button. Thank you very much for joining us, Melvin Marks. Speak to you soon.
Peace
out. Stay safe.